Vroom, vroom.
Right, well, you've all seen the one about the back axle and one thing and another and getting the car ready, really. But obviously, if this was a real car, completely, it is a real car, it is a Ferrari. But if it was the absolute original, it would be several million quid. So how can we be driving about in a £7 million car on a rally and in Italy? There's a good chance it would get a knock. You wouldn't use a various millions car. So the story behind the car is that Suzie's dad had loads of Ferraris. He mainly earned his living with Bentleys and Rolls Royces, but he was obviously passionate about Ferraris. And he had an original California Spyder, he had an original short wheelbase, and he owned these cars for 20 years. In fact, his California Spyder he went to Laguna Seca with, sent it to America and did a rally in America. So he had a lot of Ferraris, so he had a lot of experience with the cars. So obviously, at that time, there were a lot of cars that were getting old. They were 10 or 15 years old, and Ferraris didn't last because they didn't make a lot of trouble in making them weatherproof. So you start driving a Ferrari around on a salty road, before you know where you are, it's rusty. And a lot of them were rusty. So anyway, he had this chance to buy a Pininfarina Coupe in America, and he bought it, and there'll be pictures on the screen, but I've got a picture of it in here, which gives me a bit of a prompt. A Pininfarina Coupe is exactly the same as a long wheelbase California Spyder. So its engine's in the same place. It's exactly the same, except it's got a different body. This car was a matching number car and still is. So it's still got its original engine exactly as it come. So in a way, Suzie's dad saved this, because at the time you would have never have restored a Pininfarina Coupe. You couldn't have done it. It would have cost a fortune and it wouldn't be worth anything. So anyway, so he decided, having got an original car, which he restored, so he took it all to pieces and restored it. And I reckon while he was doing it, he thought, well, I reckon we could make these in England. Just like I thought we could make Type 35s in England. So anyway, that's what happened. And I think really, you know, when I first saw this car, I couldn't believe how good it was. John's the same. He said, how did he ever get all that done? I can't imagine how he did it, because I tell you what, a Type 35's a nothing car compared to doing one of these. But then again, you know, they're different. So anyway, so that's it. So the car is a Pininfarina Coupe, matching numbers, saved from being broken up very likely. Her dad then, when he restored his original car, he made a wooden buck. So he marked it out very carefully all over the body. There's the picture, but you'll see a better one. He marked it out very carefully, and he made templates to fit the body, and then he made a wooden buck, which apparently took 3,000 hours according to Suzie, and it's a fabulous job, the wooden buck. So, you know, the bodywork is not nearly right. It's not right looking at a photograph. This is right having made on a very, very beautiful professional buck. And of course, it's been made here. And I'll tell you, I think our bodyworks are better than the Ferrari, probably. And obviously, her dad also made a load of trouble to make it weatherproof. So it's all been undercoated and, you know, everything to stop it going rusty. So compared to an original, I think this is probably better. But that's one way of looking at it. But, you know, when a man's had a line of Ferraris like that, he ain't doing it to make a profit. He's doing it because he loves the cars. And now we're getting the benefit. Because, I mean, if this was worth 5 million, 6 million, 8 million, one of them sold for 18 million, but that was a short wheelbase one. You know, Suzie wouldn't be loading this on a transporter and letting me drive it around Italy. So, you know, I think it's a miracle, really. But I'd like to walk around it and just show you how good it really is. I mean, that front bumper, for instance, it fits beautifully. You know, that had to be made. That was made in this country. That was made in this country, you know. And then, of course, when you get down to the detail, the hood, all the fixings for the hood, all the frame for the hood, it all folds away. The seats, they ain't cut down, you know, some old Ferrari seats. They're exact copies of original California Spyder seats. And somewhere in here there's a picture of it, but we'll put it up on the screen. Lovely, lovely job, you know, all the proper, there it is there, look. He made a real proper job. And all this has been undercoated, painted, you know, to avoid going rusty. The engine was rebuilt, put on a dyno. There's a lovely picture of it here somewhere on the dyno being tested. So you know, again, the perfect job. Everything is spot on. You know, okay, so the door handles, if you really know, you can say that they are short wheelbase door handles, but I wouldn't care whether they was long wheelbase door handles, it don't matter. That's, you know, you probably couldn't get the dead right ones or something. And not only that, he probably thought they looked better than the original, so he did it like that. It's got original proper Brani wheels, they've got all the stamps on them. Again, look at the bumper, look at that bumper, look at that fit round there, look at that. How on earth do you do that? I'll guarantee if you looked at a real one, it probably isn't as good. All lovely in there. Susie's got her toolkit in there, but she's going to take that out because we're going to put that in the van, because we're obviously going in the van. The engine is absolutely beautiful. Look at that. I mean, you know, we know that people put Ferrari bodies on BMWs and people make short wheelbase replicas, but I think this is in another league personally. I mean, I've looked at all these other cars and they ain't as good as this one. Every bit you look at is absolutely spot on. Her dad, I don't know how he did it. John says to me, I don't know how he did it. I said, no, I don't know either. To get all that organised, assembled and running and being able to drive it flat out up the road, I think it's a genius, really. So I'm knocked out with this car. And I think it took a bit of explaining, really, because, you know, this ain't some dodgy old replica that someone's made up from a few pictures. The man who built this car had a real one and he looked at it. In fact, I think he even probably sorted out some of the faults on the real one and didn't put them in this one. I can't fault it. Everywhere you look, it's absolutely beautiful. And I'm really looking forward to going to Italy with Suzie and driving about. And obviously we're taking Hall and Scott, so that's going to be good fun. I think the Italians will love that, because I've done the Mille Miglia a couple of times as a mechanic in a pickup truck. And normally, when you drive through the villages in England, they've been ringing the police up. In Italy, they just cheer more and shout more because they love it, you know. If you can go through the village with all the wheels spinning on fire, the Italians they're in a different league to us as far as cars are concerned. They just love them. And so it's going to be good fun, really. So that's it, really. If you want to know any more about this car, I'm sure we could answer any questions, really. But I can't believe how good it is. I'm knocked out with this car. And, you know, I mean, I don't think Suzie realised how good it was until I started raving about it, and that's when she decided to do this book, you know. Because unless you've actually done it, and I've done it, and I'm telling you, to get it dead right, when I used to look at Bugattis, I used to see an original Type 35, I couldn't stop looking at it, you know, because the bits really mattered. And then, because once I started in business, I had real good cars going through my hands, so I knew all of it. I can look at a replica now from 100 yards and tell you whether it's a replica. And I looked at this car and I don't know how Stephen did it, to be honest with you, because I couldn't do it. So there we are. That's the car we're going to Italy in. Suzie will have her GoPro, the latest one, she keeps telling me, and there we are, we're taking pictures out the window and goodness knows what. But really, of course, we're supposed to be driving the Hall and Scott, but I can see us getting fed up with that and driving this. But anyway, you'll see all that when we come back. This is going to go out before we come back, so you'll know what we're up to and all about the car and what have you. That's it. Don't forget to subscribe.